Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel Pigskin Addicts. Back again with another video. So let's jump into this Chargers and Colts preview. Now, obviously, this is a must-win game for the Chargers to keep their playoff hopes alive. They travel to Indy to face the Colts on Monday Night Football. Now, I think this game is going to be a pretty good game. I think it's going to be entertaining from that standpoint. We all know the Chargers need to win, right? But I think we need to go over what the Colts are, who they are as a team, and pretty much how the Chargers stack up against them. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, the big news that has, pretty much went around the league is that the Colts are going to bench Matt Ryan and they're going to start Nick Foles. So that is obviously a big change up. Matt Ryan has pretty much been the starting quarterback all season long for the Colts. There was a little stretch there where they were benching him for Sam Ehlinger, the rookie. But when Jeff Saturday took over as interim head coach, he ultimately decided to go with Matt Ryan. Now, Matt Ryan has not played well at all. I think he is on the back nine of his career. I honestly think this will be the last year of his career. I think this is the last few games that he's going to suit up as an NFL quarterback. I don't see anybody bringing him back. His skills are diminished, and, he's a guy, he's been in the league for a while. He's had a very good career, former NFL MVP. So, he has nothing to be ashamed about. But I think right now he's not the answer that anybody wants as far as the quarterback position goes. And, he's honestly, too good, and he has too big of a name to be a backup anywhere. So I see him calling it quits. I see him retiring after this year. Now, to get to Nick Foles, there are too many people, and let me preface this by saying I respect Nick Foles. I loved what he did in 2018. I was extremely impressed with it. And, his Super Bowl run was one of the greatest of all time, right? Improbable, historic. But there is a unhealthy respect around the league, not just Charger fans, but fans of pretty much every team. It's an unhealthy respect for Nick Foles. Nick Foles has, outside of his Super Bowl run, he hasn't really done much in this league. He had, a good year with Chip Kelly, really, really back in the day. He had 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was taking over for Michael Vick, I believe, in that Chip Kelly offense. But outside of that, he hasn't done much in this league. He's bounced around a lot. He's been on a lot of teams. He's played a lot of bad football. He's played way more bad football than he's played good football. And that is the story of his career. So there is a lot of respect that I think is unearned, and it's frankly not deserved. Again, I respect Nick Foles for everything that he did in 2018, but 2018 was a long time ago. And to put things into perspective, that was the last time the Chargers made the playoffs. So if you're a Charger fan and you're looking at Nick Foles and you're thinking about 2018, think about Phillip Rivers, playing quarterback against rookie Lamar Jackson in 2018. That's how long we're talking. So we're not talking about Nick Foles being good, in the past 16, 18 months. That was a full 4 years ago. I was not married and I had no kids at that point. So that was a long time ago. People's lives have changed a lot since 2018. Nick Foles is not what he was in 2018. It was a good run that he had. It was a good run. But to me, he's washed up. He's just as washed up as Matt Ryan is. And again, I think he's another guy. He's long in the tooth. I think this year, possibly next year, is his last year in the league. What value does he have right now? At this point, all he can do is really hold a clipboard. I don't think that he is a guy that anybody should be afraid of, including us Charger fans. The Chargers defense should dominate. The Colts lead the league in turnovers. They have 27 turnovers. They've thrown 14 picks and 13 fumbles. They lead the league in turnovers. They are also second to last in turnover differential. So they don't turn the ball. They don't get turnovers themselves. Their defense doesn't get turnovers, but they turn the ball over a lot on offense. So this Chargers defense should dominate, and that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a dominating performance. I'm expecting several sacks. I'm expecting some turnovers, and I'm expecting the Chargers to come out and make Nick Foles look flustered. Nick Foles is not the guy that he was in 2018. People need to get that out of their head right now. He's just not that guy. I am a humble servant of the Lord, and he told me to come and spread the message that Nick Foles is not who you think he is. So this is the guy who we're going up against. I have no fear going up against Nick Foles. I have no reservations. I think the Chargers are going to dominate him defensively. And I think the Colts offense is a mess. They are a mess. They have talent, but they are a mess. Jeff Saturday is not the long-term solution at head coach. I think that is something that you have to look at as well too. As much as we criticize Brandon Staley, as much as some of us don't really like his decisions, he is a much better coach than Jeff Saturday ever will be. And it's been very clear, clock management stuff. There's been some gaffes. When you go up by 33 points and you allow a team to come back and beat you, obviously that is going to go on your record, right? As a head coach, that's something that's not going to be looked upon favorably by anybody. And that's what Jeff Saturday has on his record. That was his most recent outing. So when you're looking at this game and when you're breaking this game down, this is a game that the Chargers should dominate for 60 minutes. The Colts, they are decent defensively. They are pretty much middle of the pack defensively in everything, stopping the run, the pass. They're decent defensively. They have some talent on that defense, and they don't typically go out and give up 40, 45 points or whatever. What happened last week in the second half was an aberration. That defense has not been as bad as they were in that second half, so I would not expect a full collapse. But again, this is a game that the Chargers should win. So I have no reservations that the Chargers are going to, have any trouble beating these guys. I have no real reservations about Nick Foles. I have no real reservations about anything that the Colts do. I'm not scared of their coaching. I am not intimidated by really anything that they do, anything that they offer. Now, obviously, it's up to the Chargers, though, to make it happen. Like, I think the Colts are going to play hard. There's a lot of guys on this team that are playing for spots. They're going to be playing for spots with the Colts either next year or playing for a spot with another team next year. Jeff Saturday has made it very, very clear that he is interested in the head coaching job. He wants to be the long-term solution in Indy, but he's got to make it happen as well too. So he's going to do his damnedest. He's going to try his best. He's going to coach his hardest to try to put it out there that he should be the head coach of the Colts in the long term. So this team is going to fight. They're not going to give up anything easy. It's not just going to be a walk in the park. The Chargers can expect a tough game. They should, expect to go out there and get hit. They should expect for, the Colts to try to put some points up on the board offensively. And they should also expect the Colts to blitz and bring pressure and, try to keep their spirits up and get some life in the building defensively as well, too. So this is not going to be a walk in the park. But when you're looking at these teams and when you stack them up and when you look at both of these teams and you compare them 60 minutes of football, this game really should not be close, right? It should not be close from the eye test. The score can say one thing, but as far as the eye test goes, there should never be a point in time where you feel like the Chargers are going to lose the game. And that, to me, is how I feel this game is going to go. Score can dictate only so much, right? If the Chargers go up, 20-10, or if they're up 23-10, they're not out of it, right, as far as points goes. But when you're watching the game and when you're looking at what's going on the field, it should look like this Charger team is much better than this Colts team. That's how it should look. It honestly should look that way because everything leading up to this game, right, when you look at all the position groups, the Chargers have the advantage. So I'm looking for the Chargers to go out, take care of business on both sides of the ball. Now, I think the one thing that is going to turn this game in favor of the Chargers is the offensive line for the Colts. There's a lot of Charger fans who, blame our offensive line, who talk really bad about our offensive line. And have they played all that well this season? No, but they haven't been the worst in the league. The Colts legitimately have one of the worst offensive lines in the league. They have already allowed 49 sacks throughout this season. That's the third most. They're on pace to get close to allowing 60 sacks, right, for all of their quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, Sam Ehlinger, and now Nick Foles. So for your offensive line to give up that many sacks, to be on pace to give up that many sacks, it tells you a lot, right? And Jeff Saturday is an offensive line coach. I think that's why the owner, Jim Irsay, brought him in. I think he was hoping to get something going, get some positive momentum going on the offensive line, but that hasn't really worked out either. This is a bad offensive line. They obviously are going to have to fix it, during free agency, the draft, all of that stuff. But the guys who they have out there right now, from tackle to tackle, they're just not good. It's not a good group. They don't protect their quarterback. They're decent in the run game, but, when it comes down to third down, when it comes down to passing situations, they give up a lot of sacks. They give up a lot of quarterback hits. The Chargers should obviously take advantage of this. I think Khalil Mack is going to have a good game. I'm looking for Kyle Van Noy to build on the performance that he had last week as well, too. This offensive line isn't good. And if you watch a lot of the tape this year, they give up a lot of quarterback hits. And that's part of the reason why they have so many turnovers. The fumbles, the interceptions, a lot of it comes from a messy pocket. A lot of it comes from a rush pocket and, bad throws, Matt Ryan not holding on to the ball. Those turnovers, a lot of them resulted in the pocket not being clean and the offensive line not playing well, not gelling. So I expect the Chargers to come in and take advantage of that. I think the Chargers are turning a corner defensively. I think they're going to do well against the run game. Now, this game, I am looking for them to generate some pressure. That's what they have to do to really, really complete this defensive turnaround that they've had the past few weeks. Generate pressure. That's really the only thing. Coverage has been good. The defensive run game has been pretty damn good. Now it's time to generate pressure. Generate pressure through blitzing. Generate pressure through, just rushing 4 and 5. If they can do that, if the Chargers can do that, then they can really build on some momentum going forward and into the playoffs. But they have to take advantage of this offensive line. That is clearly the weakest group of any team in this game. There is really no other group that is that bad, right? You can look at a Charger offensive line and say that, yes, they have their weaknesses, but they are nowhere close to being as bad as this Colts offensive line. This Colts offensive line is terrible, and we're going to see that on Monday night. So I just hope the Chargers are able to take advantage of it. And, if they do, then they will be fine. They'll be in a position to win and close out the game. Now, I expect the Chargers to win 31-17. That's my score that I'm giving. Again, I am not worried about really anything that the Colts have. Coaching, not really an issue. Brandon Staley is a much better coach than Jeff Saturday. Quarterback play, can't even compare that. Offensive line play, the Chargers have a way better offensive line than the Colts do. And defensively, just in this interim, right, just in the past 3 to 4 weeks, the Chargers defense has been much better than the Colts defense. So you're looking at a game of two teams who are kind of trending in opposite directions. The Chargers are going up, the Colts are going down. And, the Colts, they know that they're not going to make the playoffs. This is a game of teams going their opposite directions. And I think the Chargers take care of business. Again, I respect Nick Foles. I respect the hell out of him. I just don't think he has anything to offer, and I don't think that he has anything that will beat the Chargers. I honestly don't. People can take shots at me about that, but I just don't think Nick Foles is that guy. I don't. I really don't think he's that guy. You cannot have the stats that he's had over the past 3 years, 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions over the past 3 years with 3 different teams. You can't have those stats and tell me that you're a great quarterback or tell me that there's something that you have that, you can come out and beat good teams. I just don't see it. I don't see it. And if I'm wrong, I'll come on here and say that I'm wrong, but I just don't see it. I really, really, really honestly don't see it, but it is what it is. Again, I think the Chargers win 31-17. I think they take care of business. And, depending on whatever else happens this weekend, they could clinch a playoff spot. But even if they don't, it becomes very, 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 very clear that it's going to be a win and you're in situation against the Rams, which would be next week. So, we're looking at the first playoff berth here in 4 years, right? If the Chargers win this game, they pretty much almost seal it. They just got to win one more game pretty much and they're in, or just be on the lucky end of a loss by one of the other teams that is in the race. But I think if the Chargers pull this out, I think the playoffs become very, very clear. And at that point, you're worried about seeding. So that's pretty much my breakdown here, guys. I think the Chargers are going to take care of business. I have nothing to worry about. If you're a Charger fan, you should have nothing to worry about. Obviously, the Chargers can go out and they can shit the bed. They've done it. They're capable of it. But I just don't see it happening. I think this team has played too good for the last 120 minutes to go out there and shit the bed against Nick Foles and the Colts. So, I'm looking for a big Charger win, and, I'll see you guys on the other side of it. But that is all I have for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Really appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow with more content, and, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and let me know in the comments. Let me know what the final score is going to be, and that's all I got. So until next time,